What's good? Welcome to another episode of Banished by Blaze. I am your host, Jenny Blaze, and we are here to go through the Traitors US Season 3, Episode 8. A bitch is lying. I like how Ciara says it. Before we end our episode, we'll identify the person we think should be banished immediately, based on what we've seen and how we would play if we were playing, because we are experts, expert watchers, expert viewers. If you're in the chat, drop a comment with who you think should be banished next, and we will go through all the people that we think should be banished. Before we get into it, we have some disclaimers. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Everything said is alleged. There is no fact checking. This is not journalism. This is for entertainment purposes only. And since these are real people we are discussing, I think it's important to be extremely clear that we do not condone bullying of any kind. While we may have some opinions and speak our minds in this contained space, we will never, ever wish any harm to anyone in real life. Also, if you do not want spoilers, be gone. This is not the place for you. You shall be banished immediately. Let's get into it. Okay, as a reminder, let's go through our list of people who have been murdered and banished. Don't forget, The Traitors is the #1 unscripted series in the US, or at least it was like when it first came out. Here's our cast. Look at them. Look at them. So many are gone. Surprising that Tom Sandoval is still there. But actually, I kind of think that's the nature of these games, because you kind of need like the harmless pawn. Dylan is kind of a harmless pawn. He thinks he's doing something, but he's not. Gabby, you voted for Gabby last time? Oh my God. Weak. Okay, so let's go through the list of who's been murdered and banished so far. Dorinda Medley, or Dorinda, she's gone. She was the first to be murdered. That's injustice. Then we have Wells Adams, who was banished, first person to be banished. Then Chanel Ian. They really were coming hard for our housewives, which is annoying. That one was sad. We had Tony from, what is he from? Survivor. He was doing way too much. I'm glad he got banished. I would have banished him too. Jeremy was murdered, don't forget, during the coffin murder, which comes up a lot on the latest episode 8 that we're going to go through. Then Bob the drag queen was banished, taken out by one of his own traitors, Boston Rob, which everyone thought was a hardcore move. I thought it was unnecessary. Too much. He would have lasted longer if he laid a little bit lower. I feel like he could have waited a week, or not a week, waited another round, but whatever. That's how he plays the game. And now we know. Robin Dixon was murdered. Nobody cared. Not a single person. If they had to like act out the murders where there was like a dead body and she was like pretending she was dead, they literally would have just stepped over her body and kept walking. That's how it felt, at least. Nikki Garcia was banished. That one was rough and sad. Bob Harper, he was on to Boston Rob. He got murdered. That kind of gameplay, in my opinion, Boston Rob's gameplay, is so obvious. And like, I don't know why anyone would trust Boston Rob. I would have been trying to get him out immediately. And I haven't even watched him on his shows. Just based on his reputation, I would have said, we need to get this guy out of here. He's not to be trusted. He is ruthless, too ruthless. And speaking of ruthless, another one, Wes, I'm glad he got banished. He basically banished himself by talking shit to everyone at the round table. Like, whoa, settle down, bro. He did it to himself. Then they murdered Derek because, of course, Derek laid out exactly what went down with Boston Rob being a traitor. Then finally they banished Boston Rob. And it was bittersweet, to be honest, because I wanted him out from day one. But once he did get out, I was like, oh, it's not as exciting as I thought it was going to be. But he needed to go. Hey, Max. Max is here. If you're here with us live, drop a comment in the chat. Okay, so who are our traitors? We got Danielle and Carolyn. Caroline, I still don't know. I think I heard Alan call her Caroline. So I'm going to say Caroline today. Unless it's not. Someone tell me in the chat. Okay, so we got these two chicks. I think I really like Caroline, but I'm not here for Danielle. Not here for her. She's a bad traitor. She's a bad player. I can't. Max said Caroline is insane. Agreed. She's like a little bit too. I thought she was more together. I thought she was like acting a lot in the beginning. But now I feel like she is a little bit too unstable. I wish she was a little bit more stable and she would dominate this game. But she let her emotions get the best of her. Like, she could have just kept it in that she knew Danielle was calling her out and kept it in her pocket for ammunition when the timing was right, because Danielle's name has been sprinkled, it's been said every now and then throughout the game. So there could have been a point in time, like with Ciara. Oh my God, that would have been a perfect time. Well, we're going to get to it. Okay. So we got these two ladies, and this is the murder where they are going to do it face to face. But let me read the episode description. So the episode description is: the faithful seek to close the lid on the coffin theory. This fucking coffin theory. An alliance of gamers sparks suspicion. Look at this. Even they use the term gamers in the episode description. Like, I wonder if during the production of the Traitors, they speak to the players in that way. If they're like, oh, gamers, this is like, like if they address them separately, because that would be, I think, grounds for, that needs to be eliminated from the game. That should not be allowed. Also, I see you on Instagram. Join us on YouTube so we can all chat together. But I see you. Okay. So we got our faithfuls who are up for murder. They're all awaiting their fate at this altar. And if Alan greets them, then they are safe. But if the traitors greet them, obviously they're murdered. So who are our faithfuls that are up for murder? First, we got Chrishell. Chrishell, what do you guys think about Chrishell's game? I feel like she's been playing a pretty decent game, but she hasn't been confident enough. Or maybe too confident. Now I'm second guessing myself. Because she could have stuck with her alliance, but then she said right away at the round table when they got Nikki Bella out, or Nikki Garcia, they were like, or she said, I am not in an alliance. Whoa, that was kind of harsh, right? What do you guys think? Someone said Kim Zolciak vibes. Carrot Mac said Caroline gives me Kim Zolciak vibes. Yeah, for sure. Jennifer Kelly, LMAO, Kim Z vibes for sure. Oh, okay. So Chriselle, I guess she's played a decent game. She's been trying to win at least. Like I like when people are in it to win it. And she definitely was in it to win it. Dylan, I would murder him. I would not be mad if they murdered Dylan. Just because he's like, it's annoying. I don't like the faithfuls. The very like self-righteous faithfuls. It's annoying. Rich said Dylan is my fave. I know. A lot of people love Dylan. Wait, Max hates Dylan. Misguided. I don't hate him. I think because I know so many people love him, I feel like my itty bitty amount of hate for him is insignificant. So, yeah, because like he's just too cute, but he's also not playing this game right because he was fangirling over Boston Rob, and I really, really hate that. I really hate that. That's why I don't like watching Danielle as a traitor because I think she's too emotional and making things personal. Like, we'll get to it, but at this next turret, she is going back and forth with Caroline on whether they should murder a recruit. But oh, just Kelly agrees. If they're smart, they'll get rid of Dylan. Right? And Dannykins, I know, obsessed with Dylan. I know. I'm not hating on people who love Dylan, by the way. Like, I get it. I get it. But I don't know. It gives me like, maybe I feel like I have this thing where when people are too popular, it makes me not like them. I'm like I will never be the person to fight over Beyonce or Taylor Swift tickets. I'm like, you guys can have it. Like, oh, whoops, sorry. Let's drop my phone there. You get it. Whatever. Let's move on. Okay, Gabby is up for murder. And can I just say, Gabby is so cute, so hot. And her outfit, her look at the altar was so hot. I loved it. I wish I included a picture of it. But Gabby isn't really a threat. I love how Gabby is playing this game because she's like kind of like flying under the radar. Oh my God, Jennifer Kelly's a gaggy. What I never watched Gabby on any shows before The Traitor, so I don't know like her reputation or anything. But from what I'm seeing on The Traitors, I am loving her, and I'm loving her social media activity. If I had to compare someone, I would say her social media activity is not as camp as Brittany Bateman from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, but it's like got a little like pinch of it, like a perfect amount of it. I love it. Jennifer Kelly said she's the entire reason I'm watching this season. Oh, so wait, does that mean you're a Bachelor or Bachelorette fan? I'm not like into the Bachelor Nation, so I don't know anything about any of those people. Oh, Jenny, you need to watch her podcast clips at least. I know I need to catch up on like all the ancillary stuff that's going on outside of the show because there's so much. I was just watching something right before we started going live where Derek was being interviewed, and I thought there was a lot of interesting information that they reveal when they're done with the show. They get to tell, not all of they have to be very careful, but they tell some of the behind the scenes stuff that we didn't see or things that didn't air. And I find that stuff to be very interesting because on top of watching this show and loving this game, I am also fascinated by the production of it and what's going on behind the fourth wall. And I just love to know those little secrets because I think it does play into the game, some of it, sometimes. For example, I'll give an example. Last season, season 2, who was it? Sandra, after the season was over, she was doing a bunch of podcasts. She was doing, I think, like Instagram lives and stuff. And there's one video of her talking about how for season 3, whoever is on season 3, they need to watch the smokers because whoever smokes cigarettes, I guess, they get time to go smoke cigarettes and have their breaks, but they go together as a group. And Sandra was saying that during those smoke breaks, they're gaming. They're not supposed to, I think, but they do. And Sandra said, look out for that. But I don't know. Are any of these people smokers? I know Tom Sandoval likes a stogue here and there, but I don't know. I can't see Ciara ever smoking a cigarette. Okay, let's get back on track. Okay, so up for murder, we have Chrishell, Dylan, Gabby, Dolores. Dolores is no threat. She's kind of like Sheree in a way. Not as clueless as Sheree, but at least not as outwardly clueless as Sheree. Like Sheree in season 2 literally lit a traitor's torch to save Phaedra. She's like, I know she's not a traitor. Sheree was so off the entire time. But I think Dolores will be a good game player when it comes to the end. Tom Sandoval. Tom Sandoval was convinced he was going to be dead. And I don't know why he thought that. He's still not a threat, in my opinion. He hasn't shown anything that demonstrates he's a good faithful or that he would be a good traitor. Like, he's just such a clown. And I'm okay with that because it's hilarious to watch. And I saw, I posted this week how, what did I say? Let me read the post. Let me bring it up real quick. Oh, Tom Sandoval. I said, I'm kind of over Sandoval in that I no longer feel immense hatred towards Tom the way that Chrishell does. With that being said, I find Tom Sandoval to be hilarious on the Traitors. First lightning bolt. We know he's bad at acting, so that's fun to watch. Second, we know he knows how to be a traitor even though he's a faithful. That's very difficult for him. Third, nobody takes him seriously because everyone thinks he's a moron. They just shoo him away. He's a non-factor pretty much. 4, we got to see him squirm with maggots getting dumped on his head. That was kind of satisfying, let's not lie. And then finally, he's clueless. It's just fun to watch. It doesn't mean that I like Tom Sandoval now, just to be clear. But yes, Tom Sandoval thought he was dead. And he was like, I did what I came here to do. I proved that I'm worthy, which is hilarious because, in my opinion, I don't think he did anything to prove that he's worthy. I don't know what that was all about. So I'm like, good for him, whatever. Let him think that. But yeah, he's wild. Wild. Let's see. Jennifer said, Tom is a punching bag of the entire season, and it's fantastic. I'm telling you, it's giving it feels as satisfying as Special Forces when he was on that, but in a different way. I don't know. It's more entertaining, I think. More hilarious than Special Forces because that was intense. Max said Sandoval's getting worse and worse. The Bravo aesthetic by Dandelion Art. What an episode this guy has. No, seriously. He's like MVP this episode. I can't believe I'm saying that. Oh my gosh. He could be a smart recruit for the Traitors. No, legit. I agree with this 100%. Just Kelly said it's glorious to watch. It really is. I can't believe, like, I had a feeling it was going to be fun to watch Tom Sandoval on this show, but I didn't. At first, I was mad. I'm like, oh my God, he is so obsessed with me. He wants to ruin my favorite show. This is the ultimate troll move. And I'm like mostly joking for those who don't know me. But I was so mad. Then I like accepted it. I'm like, fine. He better like be working hard during these missions and blah, blah, blah. And then I found myself like rooting for him most of the time. Not all the time, but I am kind of rooting for him right now. It's weird. Okay, so let's move forward to breakfast and find out who was murdered. First, Brittany and Danielle come in. Brittany is certain that Danielle is a faithful. This amazing gamer. And she is so wrong. Wait, going back to Tom Sandoval real quick. I have to mention this. Jennifer Kelly said, being carried by JoJo Siwa is more embarrassing than what's happened to him on the Traitors. That was pretty embarrassing. Or when he was taking a dump and crying at the same time, talking to the most winningest, what did he call himself? The most winningest Olympian? I forgot who it was. All right, breakfast. Brittany comes in. Danielle comes in. These two have a serious alliance, and it's Avi. Ciara comes in. She is like still blown away, I think, about the fact that Boston Rob wound up being a traitor, because don't forget at the last roundtable, Ciara was going hard for Rob. And I said on the last episode of Banished by Blaze, Ciara was visibly trauma bonded to Boston Rob after that mission. And I think anyone would. I don't blame her for that, but I don't. And I know that like it looks bad, but if I was at the round table, that would be my defense for Ciara. I'd be like, when Brittany brings that up, I'd be like, no, she was clearly trauma bonded. I mean, she was the only one who voted for him out of everyone. So that was obviously a mistake, but whatever. Ciara comes in with Sam. Sam is starting to engage, and I like to compare him to Kevin Creeder from last season. Kevin kind of was like coasting and flying under the radar in the first half of the game, but then he started to get activated, which then I think ultimately got him out because he then became a threat. And after this last episode, I think Sam is like, I would be worried if I was Sam. And I think he should be murdered next. Well, we'll see. We'll get to it. Ivor comes in. He's just a pawn. Like, let him coast, but I hope he doesn't. I hope he's not one of the winners because he annoys me. I don't know why. He just annoys me. Gabby comes in. She talks about her experience at the altar because so far everyone that's come in has not been at the altar or up for murder. And she talks about all the flowers and how either Alan or the Traitors greet them, you know, to say whether they're murdered. So Sam is taking this information in and processing it to try to figure out, is there a way to use this information to figure out who could be a traitor. And that was a super smart move. I got maybe like a slight traitor's chub. Only slight. Let's see. Then Tom Sandoval comes in. He cannot believe he's alive. He's just blown away. He goes into all the and don't forget, everyone's like, he's obviously a faithful. I don't think anyone thinks he's a traitor. But he's just like so very Tom Sandoval, very extra. He's like, oh my God, I thought I was gonna be murdered. I can't believe I'm here. And then he tells a story of how he like looked up real slowly, like so dramatic about it. Looked at Alan's shoes, and that's when Sam's like, "Ooh, so whoever else was up for murder who is not a traitor should have that same experience, or at least know these basic details." Which actually did scare me when he said that, because the next person who comes in is Caroline, who's obviously a traitor. She was up for murder in their eyes, in the faithful's eyes. And Sam tells Caroline to tell everyone her story. And Ciara asked exactly, like straightforward, straight up, what was Alan wearing? And Caroline is stumped. I was like really freaking out for her. Like that kind of was a dead giveaway. But then Tom Sandoval, even though Sam was very clear about this, he's like, whoever else comes in should be able to tell us what Alan was wearing or whatever. Even though he said this to Tom Sandoval, Tom still is like helping Caroline out, not really realizing like she could be a traitor. Because he's a moron. I can't with him. And Sam even tried to stop Tom from talking so that Caroline could get caught. And Brittany's like, Tom Sandoval is an idiot. I love how Brittany hates Tom Sandoval. Gabby even mentioned, she's like, okay, I guess like you were, I don't know, you're on the fence of passing and failing that test, but I guess you pass, whatever. But that's something that they could, remember down the line. Max said, Sandoval is so unhinged. Seriously, I'm starting to think that this episode 8, is the first episode that he's like more sober than not. If we're on a scale, the percentage is above 50% sober. That's just my opinion. That's how I feel. Jennifer Kelly said he's in his own little world. Seriously, he always is. Max said Danielle was scared of her reaction too. Talking about Caroline, I know. Caroline really could have gave herself away, which would have been good. Like, I feel like as a traitor, you're always like, you need to be on guard for banishment, because there could be anything that gets, if the faithfuls throw anything out there, like that could become the popular vote and you could be out. So I don't know, like that is scary. But what else? Who else comes in? Wait. So then we have Dolores. I don't know if like she had that much time to describe what she saw, but then we had Dylan come in last, which means the person who was murdered was Chrishell. Bambi eyes. Jennifer Kelly said, my favorite scene is when Tom is eating in the dining room, leaning over, eating like a caveman, and Gabby walks in and just scoffs and keeps walking. I know. I was like, why is he standing up? So what do you guys think about Chrishell getting murdered? I thought it was like unnecessary. I feel like Dylan should have been murdered. Let's go back. Who was up for murder? Dolores? No, not her. Tom, not a threat. Maybe Gabby, but not really. Yeah. So Chrishell is murdered. And she's the only one who's been murdered face to face and has gotten the chance to talk to the traitors after. And she asked them why they picked her. And they were like, you're just too faithful. Like, no one would ever vote you out during banishment. So it was just your time. And Chrishell was like, that's unfortunate. And she moves on. I like almost wanted to cry a little bit, I think. I don't know. But okay, after Chrishell's murder, we have scenes of them at the castle. They're all talking. Oh, before that happens, actually, when they realize that Chrishell has been murdered, Alan comes in and he's like, he says, he gives his little speeches, very theatrical and dramatic speeches. And he goes, be a doll, do it quickly. And everyone's like, be a doll, as in like, that's a clue. And Tom Sandoval's like, do it quickly. Sam called out Tom Sandoval. Was like, the clue is doll, Tom. But again, Tom can't even believe he's still in this game. He said he's thrown off by it. Like, when were you not thrown off? Seems like you haven't had a clue at all. But again, I think this is the first time he's like more sober than not. And he even asked Caroline, he asked her to recount what happened with Danielle like a few rounds ago, which was surprising and shocking. I'm like, oh my God, Tom Sandoval is like playing this game now. It's the first time I felt like he was playing this game. But they show Sam talking about going back to the coffin theory. Hold on, do I have pictures of this? Look at Tom Sandoval. He's just so lost. He's clueless. He can't believe he's alive, like literally and figuratively in this game. Jennifer said, watch Tom coast to the end because nobody thinks he's a threat. No, literally, I think that might happen. Tom. I included this picture of Ciara and Dylan because the castle and the background just looks so pretty. And like, this really is my dream. I want to manifest this. I want to Onijah Robinson this and imagine myself taking pictures in front of this castle just for funsies. Look at, I've never seen, have we seen Tom like this before? Like, he looks so bummed and like, I don't even know. What is his deal? Like, I really think he's finally becoming more clear-headed and is realizing like, oh my God, am I in Scotland? I've been playing a game for 7 episodes. Holy shit. Nobody talks to him. Max said, seriously, they literally act like he does not exist. Because he hasn't, and I don't think it's because of Sandoval. I think it's because he literally has not contributed in any way, like in any substantial way, until he goes, and he wasn't even confident when he asked Caroline to elaborate on her beef with Danielle. He's just like, wait, was there like something that happened with you and Danielle? Can you like talk about it? Giving major Meredith Marks vibes, like delayed reaction, like, who threw that glass? He really does. Jennifer said he looks so defeated. Is okay, the Bravo Aesthetic by Dana Liner said, I love that you call Caroline. Caroline, is it Caroline or Carolyn? I've been saying this for the last few episodes and I keep like defaulting to Caroline. Is it Carolyn? All right, it's Carolyn. Oh my gosh. I would not think it's entertaining if Tom Sandoval turned into like engaged Meredith Marks and he was like, you can leave. Like, he would get shut down real quick. But like disengaged Meredith, like slurring our words, Meredith, like that's more. I think that's his vibe. Yes, Carolyn. Okay, thank God. Thank you, Just Kelly and the Bravo aesthetic. Thank you. Been asking. Okay, so yeah, we have Sam talking to Ivor, Danielle, and I think this is Dolores. He thinks they should go back to the coffin theory. So they're putting the focus on Ciara because they really don't have anything to go off of. And Brittany is saying, yeah, Ciara was riding for Boston Rob. Brittany's mad because Ciara put Brittany's name down the last round table. She goes, I know Ciara is a traitor. You're a traitor, bitch. That's I was just thinking of Janelle from last season when her and Sandra were going at it. So we also I know. There's a picture of Brittany in her little confessional. I know Ciara's a traitor. Ciara was agreeing with every single word that he said. Talking about Boston Rob. So then we see Ciara and Gabby talking, and Ciara asks Gabby what she thinks. Ciara doesn't like Brittany and Danielle's strong alliance. I wouldn't either. And that's why Danielle is playing such a stupid game. Like, what are you doing? You're a traitor. You can't act like you are in this huge alliance. Like, it's too much. She's always doing the most. But Gabby and Ciara think that one of them has to be a traitor. I like that. I like Gabby and Ciara as a duo. They're cute. Okay, let's move on. So we have a mission coming up. Oh, look at Alan. He's so cute. Like, he has these super cute gloves on, and like his whole look, it just looks like so much work, but in the best way. Yesterday, I wore a sweater that had like a collar, and I just wanted to die. I'm like, this is so high maintenance. I can't. Just a collar was too much for me. But anyways, Alan says that they need to put themselves into two teams. So we get the team dolls team, whatever you want to call them. We got Tom Sandoval, Danielle, Ivor, Brittany, and Ciara. And then Team Castle, the ones who are going to stay in the castle, are Sam, Dolores, Dylan, Carolyn, and Gabby. So the mission is for Team Dolls to go out to this dollhouse with Alan, and they need to find dolls that are singing a nursery rhyme backwards. So they have to find the right 4 dolls, call the other team who's in the castle, sing the backwards nursery rhyme, and the castle team has to go run up to this machine that looks like an old school record player, sing what they heard on the phone. This machine will replay what they just sang backwards so that they can identify what the nursery rhyme is, go back to the phone, tell the other team at the dollhouse what the nursery rhyme is, and then give the doll to Alan, put the doll in a little doll chair. And then they had to say the doll's name and the correct nursery rhyme. Like, insane. The Bravo aesthetic said the challenge was wild. This reminded me of the bird challenge last season. Max said this shows Tom as a horrible singer. Oh my God. He's just so nuts. Okay, let's go on. So they have 30 minutes to get these 4 dolls and sing it back to each other and run around the castle, whatever, singing it. They get $5,000 for each one that they get right, for a total of $20,000 into their prize. Okay, so Alan takes It also is giving like haggis vibes of last season when they went to that creepy house. But this one was not as bad. I was a little traumatized when I saw the doll's house at first. So they go up to this doll's house. Oh gosh, it's creepy. It's creepy. Look, the inside is creepy, not as bad as the haggis house last season, but it says on the walls like help me or like you're gonna die and stuff like that. Some of the dolls are just like I don't know, speaking gibberish. One of them, the first doll that Tom Sandoval picked up said, "I hate you," which I thought was so funny. And also, I forgot to mention there is one shield in this mission. Ciara at one point picks up, oh, here's the doll that says, "I hate you." It's like the first one. "I hate you." I love how he has the doll right up to his ear. Make sure he hears it properly. "I hate you." And not only are they trying to figure out, everyone, by the way, is going for the shield. They don't even care about the money right now, but they have no idea and they have no strategy. I feel like if I went in, there's what, 5 of them, I would be like, let's divide this into 5 sections and just go from there. And like each person just work with your section. I don't know. Feels like common sense, but whatever. While they're looking through these dolls, they're getting sprayed in the face from the walls. I thought it was just water, but apparently there's like, I don't know what it was. I would like to know. We see some of it in Tom Sandoval's hair. At one point, Ciara picks up one of the dolls that says, "There's a shield inside my good friend Bear." Bear. I'd be looking for a bear. But the bear was in the front of the house. They were all inside of the house. Tricky, tricky. Meanwhile, back at the castle, I love how the other team is just sitting there. They're literally just sitting there for like 15 minutes, the first half of the mission, because everyone was just looking for the shield. No one cared about the money or the mission. They are so funny. And something about this picture pisses me off about Dylan Efron. Just he irks me. He's just the way he's standing there like this with his arms crossed right in front of it. I don't know. I don't know why he irks me so much. Anyways, 15 minutes in, they have not found a shield. They have not found one nursery rhyme, nothing. This is when Alan's like, there's no structure, no strategy. Clearly. So Tom Sandoval, he gets engaged. I think this is the first episode that he's like more sober than not. He starts listening to these dolls, and of course, he is a musician, so he has to cover his ear for proper audio and fine tuning. And he claims to be the only one in the castle who is musically inclined. And he just goes for it, which I give him props for. Like, nobody cared about the mission. He's the only one who started to step in. But as you can see here, there's a bunch of like goo and stuff in his hair, and it looks so gross. I wonder if they're like shooting out egg yolk or something, which would be expensive these days. But anyways, moving on. So Tom Sandoval starts getting into the game. Hold on, did they find a shield first? Ciara winds up finding the shield as Tom is like going back and forth to the phone because he starts to actually try to win. So she gets a shield. Back at the castle. So Tom was the only one who was calling them and singing into the phone. And by the end, they're almost down to like, I think the last one. And they're like, anybody but Tom. Sam was like, please not Tom. But Tom actually was doing a pretty good job. He got the first one wrong, or I don't know. He just like, he tried anything. So he goes up, he sings it. The Team Castle, they go and try it. They're like, we have no idea. Gabby's on the phone with Tom. She's like, we don't know what. She's like, is that it? And he's like, I don't know. And she's like, do better. And he like runs off. And he bosses Ivor around, which is weird. And Ivor actually listened to him. Alan intervened and was like, don't let Tom Sandoval bully you. But anyways, so they are, Tom is holding down this mission. They wind up, like, there's only seconds left. They wind up getting the full $20,000. And Tom is happy, rightfully so. This is like the first time he actually deserved to feel like he could take credit. I feel like, in my opinion. So they got the 20,000. Yay. That was, I think this last episode might have been the best one so far. Okay, let's fast forward to the car rides. Ciara's name is getting brought up a lot. Back at the castle, Sam wants to focus on the coffin theory again. And that's because they don't have anything to go on and he just wants to like put it to rest. I don't like when people do that. I mean, it's a strategy, but like it also, I don't know, you're kind of just doing process of elimination. And I would rather be more intentional with my banishment than just trying to say like, let's just see if this theory was right. I don't really like that. But Gabby thinks Brittany and Danielle's alliance is sus. Carolyn is listening to both of them say this. Carolyn wants Brittany gone, by the way, so that Danielle will be closer to her instead of Brittany, which I don't blame Carolyn because I said last week that Brittany needs to go. She's too much of a strong player. You know what? Player seems like a nicer word than gamer. I don't know why. I'm going to say player. She's a strong player. But what else? Where was I? Dylan tells Dolores he wants to focus on Brittany because of what Derek said about Boston Raw being true, even though Derek was wrong about Brittany, which is also another reason why I think Dylan is so annoying. He has no conviction. He has like nothing. He's just a follower. He's a follower. That's what he's a follower who acts like he's a leader. And that annoys me. Like he wants to be a hero, but he's not doing the work for it. Or, I mean, he did try with Bob, the drag queen, and I was getting like slightly a little bit of a Traitors chub, but then Bob, the drag queen, just like shut that down real quick. And I was like, wah, wah, wah. So I don't know. Kelly said gamer just sounds like they're all on Discord or something, right? They act like they're on a different planet. Like, we're gamers. We're gamers. I get so triggered by that. It's so annoying. I'm going to become a gamer just to fuck with all the gamers. Just kidding. Maybe. We'll see. Anyways. So Carolyn tells Ciara they're all talking about her. Ciara you can see her like starting to think, what's her defense and her strategy going to be? She says she doesn't trust Danielle and Brittany because of their alliance. Again, Carolyn could go after Danielle. She could have like teamed up with Ciara and took out Danielle and recruited whoever she wanted. I don't know if I would trust recruiting Tom Sandoval without another person. Although, no, I would never trust Tom Sandoval as a traitor. No. I would want someone like Dolores, maybe. Or Ciara. I'd want Ciara in there. Because I think Ciara actually would be a good faithful turn traitor. She just has like a good quality for that, I feel like. Anyways, Ciara also calls out the theatrics from Danielle. She's like, it's a bit much at this point in the game. Like, get it together. I love it. Danielle and Brittany are talking. Brittany wants to go for Ciara, of course, because Brittany is threatened because Brittany needs to get out. I would want her out. Tom asked Gabby what she's thinking before the round table. She's like, I don't know. What are you thinking? And he's like, I feel like a lot of people don't know what they're doing. AKA Tom Sandoval doesn't know what he's doing. I kind of feel bad for him. Like, he's finally waking up. Like, hello, you're playing a game. Ivor, Sam, and Dolores are talking, and they mention how it must be a girl. And Sam, he just is gunning for Ciara. And I find that strategy to be annoying. I slightly respect it in a way because at least he's like playing the game, but I just don't like that he's doing a process of elimination. That's his game style, really. Like, no, I don't like it. I need something more concrete, I feel like. Right after they mention they're going to go for Ciara walks in. Another part of this game I love is that they're actually like all hanging out while they're talking about each other and scheming against each other. She just comes and sits down. It's so awkward. They all are just quiet. Dolores breaks the ice. She asks Ciara what her thoughts are, and she goes, I know my name's getting brought up, which I like the way Ciara moves. She's very like upfront. She faces things straight on. She doesn't like tiptoe and try to scheme. You know, she's like a good faithful, I think. She then points out that Jeremy died the night in the coffins. And Jeremy, the only person Jeremy said or mentioned as possibly being a traitor was Danielle, which is correct. That is exactly on point. I wish Carolyn would have ran with her on that. That would have been such a badass move because Danielle needs to be out of this game. She is so reckless and a bad traitor. She is awful at this. I'm not saying I don't like Danielle, like as a person. I'm just saying her gameplay is annoying me. But yeah, Ciara says she knows she's at risk, but she's up for a challenge, and I love her for that. Okay, let's go on to the round table. Ciara starts off strong. She faces it dead on. She's like, I know that the coffin theory is coming up again. Ivor mentions it wasn't just the coffin incident, that we think the remaining traitors are females. This is where Tom jumps in like a doofus. He says, wait, oops, I have this out of order. He goes, don't forget, girls are better. And I wish he just stopped there. But then he goes on to say, girls are better cheaters than guys because they have better social skills. And he couldn't even finish because the entire round table was just like, like if they had tomatoes, like James Kennedy suggested back during Sandoval days, they would have all thrown them at Tom Sandoval. They're like, are you kidding? Out of all people, you're saying that girls are better cheaters than guys? Idiot. Definitely a Freudian slip. But I also want to know what he was getting at. Like, he's saying girls are better being traitors because they're better at social skills? I don't know if that's valid. That said, OMG, Sandoval talking. I know. Ugh, he's the worst. Jennifer Kelly said she doesn't give traitor vibes at all, so I don't know why they keep bringing her name up. Seriously, It's so annoying that they're obsessed with this coffin and they're obsessed with Ciara. She does not give traitor vibes at all. And I'm still mad at Derek for saying, I think Ciara is a traitor because she uses a lot of profanity. Oh, hell no. That makes me angry. But back to Tom Sandoval. Just Kelly said the collective reaction from the round table was exhilarating. It truly was. Jennifer Kelly says he doesn't even know what he was trying to say. He doesn't. I'm telling you, the man, I feel like he was detoxing for the first 7 episodes. And like I said many times, I think this is the first episode that he's like actually kind of sober and he's realizing that he's playing a game. So we'll give him a little bit of grace, I guess. I don't know. So stupid. Okay. Sam brings it back together because Tom just he's defeated. They're all booing him basically. Gabby even says, "Everyone vote for Tom." See, that would have been a great thing for Ciara to say too. She could have said so many things. I would have went around the whole table and I would have pulled a Thomas Ravenel from Southern Charm early seasons. I would have went down the line. Like, I am not going out without roasting all of your asses. I mean, why not? If you're about to die, well, I guess you don't die, you just get banished. Ciara, she's like, I guess I have to plead for my life again because I'm a faithful. But then she doesn't say anything. And then that gives Brittany an opportunity to jump in and mention how the only 2 votes for me last time were from Boston Rob, who was a traitor, and you. And I really wish Ciara would have, or somebody would have been like, she was clearly trauma bonded to this man. She had a snake on her, for crying out loud. She had maggots dumped on her head that like very same day. I would be trauma bonded to anyone just from looking at it. I would have been like Chriselle, like, oh, hell no, kill me. I'd rather die than do this mission. And even just sitting there watching them with that stuff happening to them would have taken me out. No. I don't even know where I was going with it. Oh, yeah. Ciara was trauma bonded that day. I wish someone would have called that out. And I wish she would have gone harder at the round table. I think it's hard. I can't imagine what it's like being at a round table when you know every single person is about to vote you out. And like, I'll go out kicking and screaming too, but at some point it's kind of defeating and you're like, I have no fight left in me. I feel like Ciara was kind of at that point because they've been coming after her ever since she went in the coffin. And no one really had her back. Like nobody was like, we got to get Ciara a shield, or like during that one mission with the big heads or whatever, nobody gave a shit if she got a shield. And that was right after the coffin mission, I think. And I would have had her back. I wish I was at that round table. I would have stuck up for her. So what else? I mean, she did try to mention the fact that Jeremy mentioned Danielle's name and then he died. Again, I wish she would have went harder. But Danielle did have a comeback to Ciara saying that she's like, I'm a faithful. Don't forget, I voted against Boston Rob twice. And everyone that's been taken out, they were close to me. Ian, Bob H, Derek. I have no reason to kill them. I feel like those aren't good enough reasons for me personally. If I was playing, I'd be like, so? This is a game. Tom again chimes in. And he says, you yelling, "Fuck you, traitors," in the coffin, that could be looked at in two ways. Like either you're really cool or maybe you were trying to be dramatic or whatever. And Sam's like, it felt premeditated. I wish Ciara got into a verbal argument with Sam because he is hardcore going for Ciara. He was pretty much taking the lead on it. And Ciara's defense to that was she was in fight or flight mode. And in that moment, she went into fight mode. And I actually did feel like when we saw that coffin scene and she was like, "Fuck you, traitors," or whatever, I actually did feel like, oh my God, please don't say that. Like, just like, I don't know, plead like Nikki did, but that didn't get her anywhere. So let's see what else. Ivor tries to lay out a theory that Bob the drag queen and Boston Rob convinced Ciara to get into the coffin as a traitor. And this is when Ciara's like, "Sorry, respectfully, that's bullshit. No one's going to convince me to get into a coffin." And I laughed so hard because I agree. No traitor is going to convince me to go in a coffin. And quite frankly, Ivor, I'm offended that you would even suggest something as ludicrous and sexist as that. Why? Because I'm a female? Like they're going to convince me to go in a fucking coffin? Bullshit. Ivor, you're done. You're going to be banished soon. Or murdered, hopefully. But like I said, if I was there, I'd be fighting for Ciara. I really would. I don't think she has not demonstrated anything to show that she's a traitor, other than that she was randomly selected to go into the coffin by the traitors. This game sucks. Just kidding. I love this game. All right, so roundtable votes. Dylan votes for Ciara. He says we have to close out the theory because that's all we have. He went with the popular vote, even though he was the first one to say his vote. Carolyn voted for Ciara. She said, "We don't know if you place yourself in the coffin or not. This is the only way to find out." Sam votes for Ciara for the coffin theory. Ivor, the same. Dolores votes for Ciara, which was heartbreaking because I know Dolores they're sisters. They're Bravo sisters. You should have each other's back. But she said, "I voted for you because my vote would not save you." Then Danielle, Gabby, Tom, Brittany, they all voted for Ciara. Ciara voted for Brittany. But while they're going through the votes, Ciara had her confessional, and like, I have chills right now thinking about it because like made me want to cry. And this game is like, it's just a game, but it winds up being so personal. And it's like immersion therapy / I don't know, some other kind of weird therapy. But I love this game. It's like a social experiment, but it's contained and it's for entertainment and it's supposed to be just for fun, but also you're playing for money. So I'm down for any game where you play for money. Unfortunately, Ciara is voted out and banished. She goes into the circle of truth and she keeps it pretty short. She seemed like she was going to cry. I probably would have cried. But like I said, if I was in Ciara's position, if I was a faithful who got banished and I went in the circle of truth, I'm going through every single one of you mofos, roasting all of your asses. I would do it. I would take my sweet ass time too. I wonder if they have a time limit. I need to ask Alan that question or somebody. Oh, that would be great. Imagine if you roasted Alan on your way out. I could see someone like Wes doing that. I don't know if I could do that. That's too far. So yes, our beloved Ciara. I'm loving her on Summer House, by the way, and I'm loving that she's bringing her Traitors energy to Summer House to take down West Wilson as he deserves, rightfully so. I'm mad at him personally because he lied to me in DMs when he didn't have to. He could have just not responded. Don't lie to me. I take that as a threat. Jennifer said, if I got taken out, I would tell them everyone I thought was a traitor and why. Yeah, exactly. I'd go down the line like, Tom Sandoval, you're a wussy pussy mess, a clown of a human being. Like, I would have to think about it beforehand, honestly, but because I would have a lot to say. But yeah, I'd go through all of them. I would reiterate, Danielle, I think you're a traitor. Who else did you think was a traitor? Oh, somebody on Instagram said, I can't believe nobody thought it was weird that Danielle gave up 2 shields in that Jars mission. I agree. Like, why hasn't anyone brought that up? That was so stupid. That was so bad. Bad move. Bad gameplay, girl. All right. So let's go. Well, before we go to the turret, after the circle of truth, Sam goes, we messed that up. Oh my God, shut up, Sam. That was all you. Alan basically scolded everyone. I'm pretty sure he was acting, but it felt real. They were like, oh, he even goes, turn off the lights when you're finished at the round table. And he walks away in disgust that they got it wrong. Dylan is upset because he went with the popular vote and he said it feels like shit. Like, grow some balls, Dylan. Like I said, he wants to be the hero, but he's not doing the hero work. And that annoys me. That's why I cannot be a Dylan fan. And everyone loves him. So I'm out. I take myself out of there. What else? Carolyn asked Tom and Gabby who got the shield. Carolyn asked if Ciara got the shield straight to Tom Sandoval's face, and he lied so effortlessly. I cannot emphasize more how Tom Sandoval is thriving in this episode. This is his episode. He's crushing it. He is willing to humiliate himself with his awful singing and act like he's amazing, living in his delusion land. And he got to lie effortlessly. Like, this is his comfort zone. So funny to me. He's like, watch that clip back. It's wild to me that he can just lie so easily on the spot. It's proof right there. Oh my God. What else? Carolyn asked Danielle. Oh yeah. So Carolyn, oh no, Dylan, Ivor, and Sam go into the secret room. Carolyn and Danielle don't know they're in the secret room. And they're in that like bar area talking, which is pretty bold for 2 traitors to be openly chatting alone that way, right? I would think that looks kind of suspicious. I wouldn't want to be caught just the 2 of them. If I was a traitor, I'd pretend we're not even friends. I'd be like, I don't know you. Go away. But Carolyn asked Danielle who got the shield, and she's like, I'll tell you later at the turret. She said that out loud, and I'm like, these women are sloppy. Sloppy AF. Because Dylan, Ivor, and Sam, they could hear Carolyn and Danielle. And Dylan, like the idiot that he is, this is why I get annoyed with him. He walks in on them without even like you're playing a game of traitors. You need to be trying to eavesdrop. If you see that people, or that people are talking and they think that they're alone, come on, this is a game. So instead of doing that, like a good faithful bad faithful, he comes out and sits with them, and they're just like, this is weird. And they're like, who else is in there? And he says, Sam and Ivor. Danielle goes, well, that looks sus. And Dylan goes, his response was, whatever. I'm like, what? You can't say whatever. He goes, I can leave if you want. It's giving off MJ vibes, kind of, but like not fun and cute the way MJ was. It's more awkward and uncomfortable. But Dylan is convinced that the men are all faithful. So he's looking at the girls, particularly Brittany and Danielle, because they're gamers. They're on Discord, those gamers. I want to know every single person's definition of what they think a gamer is. Like, what's the stereotype that goes along with it? Because I'm sick of them using this word gamers. But they're not going to stop, so whatever. Dylan, he does make a note that he thinks Danielle's shaking and everything is an act, which is hilarious because she's literally shaking like in every scene. So he said he's going to be looking at her. Over in the turret, they are talking about who to murder. We got Carolyn and Danielle. And who are our faithfuls remaining? We got Brittany, Sam, Ivor, Gabby, Tom Sandoval, Dolores, and Dylan. And that's how we leave it. But before they decide if they're going to murder, Alan comes in and he says they can seduce somebody, aka recruit, or murder. So Alan leaves. Danielle is fighting so hard to recruit Brittany. And thankfully, Carolyn stands her ground and is like, hell no. So, and I kind of agree. Like, I don't think they should recruit anyone at this point. If they were going to, I feel like if they were going to recruit, it would have to be like one of those recruit or die type of situations. Because what if they try to recruit someone and they turn it down? That's a waste. And why bring on someone else to split the money 3 ways? Why? Danielle, that's weird. Why are you fighting for less money if you really want to go to the end with Carolyn? Right? I'd be like, no. In fact, I'm coming for you again. Except I wouldn't tell her the way that Carolyn has. I'd be more low key about it. But what else? Danielle tells Carolyn that Ciara had the shield, and she's like, well, I heard otherwise, remember, because of Tom Sandoval. And for a second, she was like kind of doubting her. She's like, because how can Carolyn trust anything Danielle says? I don't blame Carolyn. And Danielle's like, well, that's what it is. So whatever. But I don't know, for some reason in the turret, Danielle was giving me Mary Cosby vibes. And I think it was when she was like, we got to seduce Brittany. And Carolyn's like, no. She's like, Carolyn. Like the way, I don't know, maybe like her inflections and her words or something. I was like, I feel like that's something Mary Cosby would say. Oh my gosh. Okay. So who's up for murder? Who do we have left? We have Brittany, Sam, Ivor, non-factor, Gabby, good player, but not a threat. Tom, not a threat. Dolores, not a threat. Dylan, annoying. If I was in the turret, I would not recruit. I would murder. And I would probably murder Brittany or Sam. Who did I choose? Brittany or Sam? And I say that because clearly Sam is able to sway the popular vote. Oh, actually, you know what? What if Sam was recruited as a traitor? Jennifer Kelly said literally the most boring people left besides the traitors, Tom and Gabby. Going back to the gamer definition, Princess Francois said, my definition of gamers means you think you are the smartest person in the room, whether you are or not. Tell him, Princess Francois. That's what I'm saying. Right? That is the vibe they give off, and it's so annoying. Jennifer Kelly said, Danielle doesn't understand the game, and it shows. Like, why? I don't understand why she's trying to like split the prize pot by 3 instead of 2. That makes no sense. She needs to go. Just Kelly said, I'm hoping Danielle is the next to go. Yeah. So if I was a traitor and I was going to murder someone, I would murder Brittany or Sam. But as far as like banishment goes, I would start going for Danielle. They should. There's a lot of evidence they could go off of. They could talk about Jeremy. They could talk about the shield thing with the smashing of the jar challenge. That was so fucking weird. What else? Why should they get Danielle out? Oh, she also volunteered on the very first mission. Remember? Her acting is not that good. We have to remember, like, take the facts and then think about their reaction. Like, yeah, nobody really gave it light because she was acting. She was like crying and acting like she was mad. So that should be a red flag to you, right? I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, if they banish a traitor, I hope it's Danielle. She's got to go. And then if not, Brittany and Sam got to go. They're both too dangerous, I think. What are you all thinking? Also, when is there a Traitors Revealed episode? I didn't see one with Chriselle and Ciara. And hello, I'm looking for it. Maybe it comes out later in the week or something. I don't know. But let's see, do we have anything else? No, I think that's it. We've come to the end of our show today. So we have to we already decided who we're going to banish. We already decided who we're going to banish by Blaze. And again, that's all we have for today. But please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a 5-star review. Oh, one thing I forgot. I mentioned this last week. In case you're interested, we have a haggis hat available at bravoandblaze.com at the shop. I always say haggis ever since last year. Haggis, haggis, haggis all day long. But yeah, until next time, stay lit, y'all.